Average rate of change is a good old, you're used to seeing this as change in y over change in x, which we might say y2 minus y1. It's not that I get.
Interruption at this time.
Who can tell me what this stands for? Change in y or change in x? What word are we used to that standing for? Slope. It's good old slope, right? And another way to say that is just the change in your output. The output, again, are those y values or your dependent variables over the change in your input. Whoops. Input. Okay. So it says find the average rate of change between the point 1, 2, boop, is right there, and 3, 4, boop, is right there. We're finding that average rate of change of this secant line, and I drew it through the equation, so I'd rather not. Okay. So you guys, how would we do that? My points are 1, 2, and 3, 4. Those are my 2 points. Well, how could we find that slope? What minus what over what minus what?
4 minus 2 over 3 minus 1.
Love it. She's saying, well, there's my y's, 4 and 2. So she did 4 minus 2 over 3 minus 1. What if, who could do it a different way? What if she didn't put 4 first? You're saying, I'm just going to do this y first, and you're going to say 2 minus 4 over 1 minus 3. Are we going to get the same answer? Yeah, 2 over 2 or negative 2 over negative 2, they're both going to simplify to be 1. So that's why I don't stress with those little subscripts of y2 minus y1. I don't stress over it. I don't care which one you do first as long as you put the y values on top. Love it. What if I give it to you in the form of a table? What's the average rate of change from, now notice what they said, from 13 to 25 seconds. Well, here's 13 seconds, so then 76 meters is its y value or its output, and 25 seconds has a distance of 30 meters. So who could give me my slope on that one? What minus what over what minus what? You got it, people. Which y do you want to do first?
76.
Love it. 76 minus 30. I would do that too. Did you do that because it was going to be positive?
Yeah,
Me
I
too.
don't like it to be negative.
Me neither. Even though on the bottom, we see it's going to be negative, and that's all right, but I'm with you. Typically on top, I start with the positives. And what are we going to get on top then, you guys? 40 over negative 12. Very good. And then, yep, we can go ahead. Yeah. We're going to get negative. Anyone get a decimal? 3 point. Oh, yeah. Yes. So negative 3.833. Anyone have any idea what those units would be? Look at what we just did. Change in y over change in x. Yeah, meters per second. And you can shorthand that with meters per second like that. Okay, then, so we've done this from a graph, given 2 points. We've done this from a table. What if I just give you the equation? And again, here's my x. This is the interval. So these are x values. So from it saying from 13 to 25 seconds, that's an interval. From negative 1 to 2, that's our interval notation again. So we need to go ahead and find out what is b of 2 to get that y value, and what is b of negative 1 to get that y value as well. B of 2 just means go plug it in. Let's go find b of 2. Plug that 2 in to my function. And we got our w as our variable. So 2 plus 2 to the second, or 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, plus 2 is going to get me 6. I love it. So then, Phoebes, I've got the point 2, 6. That's one of our points, our x and our y. Negative 1's a little angrier. If I plug in negative 1, wouldn't we have negative 1 plus 2 to the negative first? And without a calculator, does anyone remember what this little negative exponent does?
0.
Not quite. Yes, it makes it a fraction. So anytime, and we don't have to have this mastered. We'll work on this later as well, but I just wanted to remind you that negative 1's still chilling. When you've got a negative exponent, they said make it a fraction. Yes, this is going in the denominator. You're going to bring this 2 to the negative first down to the denominator, and when you move it, the exponent changes signs. So since that exponent was negative 1, it's now positive 1. And since there was nothing else in the numerator, we'll just throw a 1 up there. So 2 to the negative 2 to the negative 1 turned into 1/2, right? That little exponent of a positive 1 is just implying it's just the exponent of, whenever we've got any number, they always have an exponent of positive 1. So what's negative 1 plus a half? Negative 1 plus a half would be, say it again?
Negative 1/2.
Negative 1/2, perfect. So when we plugged in a negative 1, we got negative half as my y value. Okay, what then, how can I find my slope now? What would be my y minus y? Cole, you got it, bud? Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you put your hand up. What could be my y minus y over x minus x now that I have these 2 points?
6 minus.
Yeah, 6 minus negative half. Could I just say 6 plus a half?
Yeah.
Over, if I started with the 6, then I have to just start with the 2 again. 2 plus 1. We down with that?
Yeah.
What's 6 plus a half?
6.
6.5 over 3. I'm okay if we want to leave it there. What'd you get though, Phoebes? Give me 3 decimals.
2.166 or 167.
Okay, good call. So when we divide it, she's wondering like, is it going to make us round up? Let's check. 6.5 divided by 3. Oh my gosh. 6.5 divided by 3. That is not 6.5. 6.5 divided by 3. Here we go. So if we're looking at that third decimal, the only thing that's going to dictate it is the fourth one. If it's 5 or above, give it a shove. Have you heard that? Isn't that funny? 5 or above, give it a shove. So yeah, 2.167. I dig it. What if I said, hey, skipping positive and negative rates of change? Okay, positive rate of change, a positive slope, you guys. Draw yourself something with a positive slope. Does this one always have a positive slope? Does this black function? Yep, that slope is always positive. What about this one? What if I do that? No, right? That's got negative slope then positive slope. So just make sure you're drawing something with a positive slope. And a positive rate of change, that positive slope, just means that as one quantity increases, the other quantity also increases. Does the same, my bad. Does the same. So let's give ourselves an example. The more squashies we eat, what's going to happen probably? The more squashies we eat, the more weight we're going to gain, probably. Let's be honest, okay? Or the less squashies we eat, the less weight we'll gain. Maybe. Is this a all the time? No. Like, are there circumstances? Of course. But they would both have a positive rate of change because you're saying the less squashies I eat, the less my weight would be. So that would still, because they both have the same rate, word that goes with them, increasing or decreasing. That's why they're always going to be a positive slope. A negative slope is going to be as one increases, the other decreases, or vice versa. What would be an example of that? What would be an example where one thing goes up and another thing goes down? The more Audie practices lacrosse, the less time he has to be with his friends. There you go, right? But maybe his friends are on the team, and so that's, you know what I'm saying. But you get what I'm saying, people. Okay, so let's think about this. As the years increase, a high school student body increases. Positive or negative slope? Yeah, because they're both increasing, right? Okay. As Mr. Bean's weight decreases, his running distance increases. Yeah, it's going to be a decreasing, right? Because as one's going up, the other's going down. Whenever they're opposite, we're going to have a negative slope. Decreasing slope. Okay. Okay, last one I want to look at, then I'm going to send you on your own. It says a continuous function. Oh, we're done at 44. Oh, we got oodles time. Okay, a continuous function f. We've got this nice continuous function that just means I never had to lift my pen, and you've seen this earlier today. For how many values from -5 to 6 is the average rate of change on the interval from some random b, we don't know where b is, up till 5 equal to 0? Something has a horizontal line and they want us to connect it from what x value till 5 would have a slope of 0? Any guesses? You said from 3, and I heard it in -4. You guys, so good. From 3 to 5, if I connected those, would that average rate of change be 0? Yeah. So we're going to say at x is 3. And then I heard another one. Osher Otto, was that you?
No.
No. Who said -4? Rex. At -4, if I connected that to 5, wouldn't that also have a slope of 0? So we're going to say at 3 and -4, those are the only 2 points. If I connected any other point to when x is 5, they would have a slope that's not 0. That's great. Good job, guys.